Hello, this is the Watchdog. Welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we are going to review the Benyar BY5211. Let's start with the wrist check. I'm wearing the Spaghetti Design PD 1792 GMT watch. And Grogu's wearing my Vario 1918 Pilot's watch. Grogu said that since Princess Leia refused to take over the Jedi Academy, they had no choice but to let Master Skywalker have his job back since he is the only Jedi left in the galaxy. I said, can't the Force Ghost take over? Grogu said, no, they were just rounded up by the Force Ghostbusters. All right, let's take a look at the watch. Comes in this typical Benyar box. Every Benyar I've ever had has come in an identical box. And here is the watch. Isn't that a good looking watch? I really like it. I've been happy with this Benyar. I've had quite a few Benyars on my channel, and most of them are homaging Rolex or other similar Swiss luxury brands, but this one is homaging a Seiko Turtle. At Fun with Watches, we have taken the stand that if you can homage a $10,000 Rolex, you can homage a $20 Casio. A Seiko Turtle is an ISO 6425 certified dive watch, whereas this Benyar is not, as it only has 50 meters water resistance and inadequate lume. Benyars are a step below Pagani design, but a step above Tsukume when it comes to build and quality. One common feature of a Benyar is that it will say all stainless steel on the case back, when the case is most certainly chrome plated. This is one reason why Gary from I Like Watches will not review a Benyar. I review them anyway because there are fibs all over the AliExpress watch world, and it is the job of a reviewer to expose them. This watch comes in 5 different colorways, all with gradient dials and J-style bracelets. You have blue, black, gray, green, and the color I chose, ice blue. The watch is 42.5 millimeters if you measure at the bezel, but 44.6 millimeters if you measure at the case, because this is a turtle with the cushion case, so the case is much bigger than the bezel. It's 48 millimeters lug to lug, and it's a whopping 14.9 millimeters thick, including this dome crystal, so it's pretty chunky. Has a 22 millimeter lug width, which tapers down to 18 at the clasp, and weighs 135 grams on the supplied solid bracelet with 3 links removed. The bezel is a 60-click unidirectional, and the action's pure mush. Tons of back play. This is not good bezel action at all. And as you can see, we do not have a ceramic insert, but that's fine. Don't expect that on this watch. Then we have the dial. I really like the dial. It's got that nice sunburst effect, plus it's a gradient dial, getting darker as it goes out to the edge. Really happy with the dial. It's one of the best looking Benyars I've ever seen. Then we have the minute markers with little red dots at the 5s, and then we have the baton indices, and they're a little bit thicker at the 6, 9, and 12. Then it says Benyar. Let me get it out of your way here. Benyar is printed, and then we have the applied logo. And then it says automatic on the bottom with no mention of water resistance, and it's 50. Then we have the hands. We have a sword hour hand, a fence post minute hand, then a rectangular lollipop second hand. A real Seiko Turtle has the dot counterbalance that's loomed, so this is different than that design. Then we have a date at the 3 with a little white border. But really pleased with the dial. Then we have a sign push-pull crown. A real Seiko Turtle, the crown's at the 4, but this is at the 3. And that's done for comfort, to have it at the 4 so it doesn't dig into your wrist, but I don't think that's going to happen with this one. And it's not a screw down, but you only get 50 meters water resistance, so you don't care. And actually a non-screw down just makes it easier to wind it if you haven't been wearing it for a long time. Then we have the crystal. The crystal is mineral glass. You don't get sapphire on a Benyar. And you can see distortion, so that means it's single domed, not double domed. And you don't really expect double domed on a Benyar either. And then we have the case. And this is all the controversy with Benyar, because it says all solid stainless steel on the case back, but this case is most certainly chrome plated alloy, because look at that. You can just see a different tone than the steel bracelet. Plus it's shiny everywhere. So yes, it's clearly chrome plated alloy, but it has a nice shape to it. It's shaped just like a sago turtle. And those have always been nice because they have a relatively short lug to lug considering how big the watch is, because of the cushion case design, where these lugs are really just kind of a cutout to the case. And then we have the case back. As I already said, it says all solid stainless steel, where it's not. It's a display case back. Then it says water resistant 50 meters. Oops, sorry, you can't see that. Water resistant 50 meters. And it says, gives the model number. Then you can see the movement underneath, and it has a sine rotor. Then underneath the case back is the BY9018 movement. This is a 3 hertz movement that hand winds, and it actually hacks. A lot of Benyars don't hack, but this one hacks. And it has a unidirectional rotor, because you can spin it freely in one direction. And I do not know the jewel count, and I do not know the lift angle, and I do not know the power reserve. But we'll put it on the Timegrapher, and we'll just leave it at the default 52-degree lift angle and see what we get. Here it is on the Timegrapher, and boy, I wasn't expecting that. This is not a 3 hertz movement. This is a 4 hertz movement. So that's unexpected, and that's kind of very unusual for a watch in this price range. And look at that. We got some pretty good accuracy going on. +4, +4, +6. It's always good to be a little fast rather than a little slow if you have a hacking movement, because when you time drifts and you have to set it again, all you have to do is pull out the crown and wait for time to catch up. Where a slow movement, you actually have to move the hands. Amplitude says 302 degrees. That's a pretty good indication that I have the lift angle wrong. But I tried looking up the lift angle online, and I couldn't find any indication anywhere. And there's a little bit of beat error, 0.3 milliseconds, but that's not horrible. So yeah, this movement is running really good for a $30 watch. So I'm very pleased with it. The bracelet is a 5-link J-style bracelet, and it's fully articulating. So that's always nice. Sometimes you'll get a bracelet like this, and the center links will be fixed with the outer links, but that's not the case here. And they are solid, but we do have hollow end links, but they are inverted, so that's nice. Helps a big watch wear a little bit smaller. Then we have push pins, not screw pins. You don't ever get screw pins in a Benyar. But I'm perfectly happy with push pins, especially on a J style, because if you have screw pins on a J style, the heads are so small that it's really difficult to do. Then we have the clasp. It's signed, but there's, like all Benyars, it's just a simple press clasp with no micro adjust. So now, granted, being a J style, the links are so small, you can get the perfect fit without micro adjust. But unfortunately, if your wrist swells or shrinks and you want to adjust it, that means you have to go get another link out of the box or take a link out, which is just more difficult than moving something up and down the micro adjust. Now, of course, what you could do is just get yourself a new clasp on AliExpress. They don't cost a lot of money. And then that will give you some micro adjust. You could even probably get an on-the-fly adjustable one. But no, very pleased with the bracelet. It has a good look to it also. And it's not too jangly for a J style. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. That looks nice. It wears nice. It's chunky, but it sits nice and flat on the wrist. And this J-style bracelet contours to the wrist just fine, so it's super comfortable. It is a little top heavy because the watch head is so large, and a J-style is just a little bit lighter bracelet than a oyster style. But no, it looks really good. I mean, it's a big watch, but then again, a real turtle is a big watch. And having the crown at the 3, it doesn't dig into your hand. You can't even tell it's there. Here we are in the Lume room. Benyar is a sister brand of Pagani design, and thus I do not have high expectations for this test. As we speed up the tide, we see the blue glow of BGW9. Everything starts out pretty good, but starts to fade fast. The hour hand seems to be a bit better, but the all-important minute hand is just as weak as the indices. But look at that Lume pip. It clearly outshines everything else on the watch. Too bad the rest doesn't keep up. What I like about this watch, it looks and wears great. Stunning gradient dial, fully articulating J-style bracelet, and it has a 4 hertz movement that's very accurate. What are my gripes and groans? No micro adjust. The bracelet could be longer. I only removed 3 links. And the Lume is inadequate. Do I recommend this watch? Sure. We don't buy $30 dive style watches to dive. We buy $30 dive style watches because they look great, and this one is a true stunner. This is one of my favorite Benyars since I started this channel. And once again, it has a 4 hertz movement, which is pretty impressive for a $30 watch. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Benyar BY5211M, and I'll be back with another review. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this watch, be sure to use my affiliate link, and I'll get a tiny commission. But those tiny commissions do add up. That's why I was able to buy a Squally and that Suggest. And I'd like to thank my Members Choice members. There you are, all 4 of you. And once again, I haven't sold the Members Choice watch yet. I just lowered the price $10 to see if that will make a difference. And once I sell it, I will put up another Members Choice vote. Unfortunately, my sales have been really slow lately. I don't know if everybody just has to pay their taxes and can't afford watches right now. Bye.